Hello, I'm Randy Swallow. Welcome to In Your Neighborhood. For the next half hour, we'll talk county issues, District F issues, and future of the Spring Mountain Corridor with Commissioner Justin Jones. Good afternoon, Commissioner.
Good afternoon.
We're here at the Xiaolong Dumplings restaurant in the heart of Chinatown in District F. District F contains portions of the Central Valley west of Las Vegas Boulevard, extending westward through much of Summerlin. Mountain's Edge, Southern Highlands, and the rural communities of Sandy Valley, Blue Diamond, and Prim are all encompassed in this enormous commission district. Here's a quick look in your neighborhood, District F. District F is one of the most diverse commission districts in Clark County, a combination of rural and urban communities, ranging from the solitude and wide open spaces of small towns to some of the finest master plan neighborhoods, to cultural corridors where people live, work, and play. Chinatown is blossoming in and around Spring Mountain Road as a steady stream of residents and Asian American and Pacific Island restaurants, supply shops, and businesses continue to boost the economic profile and bring visitors to this area just west of Las Vegas Boulevard. The fast-growing Southwest is experiencing a major influx of people, parks, and development in places such as Mountain's Edge. Summerlin is another District F fixture, featuring custom-built neighborhoods and mixed-use expansion, including downtown Summerlin, which includes professional and recreational sports facilities, shopping, dining, commercial, and residential properties. New and existing parks include Desert Breeze, James Regional Park, Southwest Ridge, and many more, providing plenty of wide-open spaces with room to recreate, relax, and get fit. District F remains one of the best places in all of Clark County to live, work, and raise a family. Commissioner, you and a number of your colleagues recently attended the Brightline West groundbreaking station here in Las Vegas. There's so much. This is going to be amazing. It's the United States' first true high-speed train. It's electric. We'll get from Las Vegas to Rancho Cucamonga in about 2 hours, 200 miles an hour. You're a big train fan. Talk to me about it.
Absolutely. This is such an exciting project for Southern Nevada, not only for tourists, but also for locals. This is going to bring tens of thousands of good-paying construction jobs and then thousands of jobs after that. They'll continue to work on the maintenance and the operations of this train, high-speed train. Just an exciting project for all of us, both in Nevada and in California.
As someone who spent 8.5 hours driving back from Southern California to Las Vegas literally last week, getting cars off the road and getting people in this train are going to have amazing environmental benefits as well.
Absolutely. This is great for our All in Clark County plan. This is going to reduce air pollution. It's going to get cars off the road, and it's just going to be a great experience for the tourists who are coming from Southern California every weekend.
And I know their developers are hoping to get this done prior to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for the Olympics to come back to the United States. I actually went to the 1980 Olympics in Los Angeles, so I am looking forward to getting on that train and going to the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028.
Hopefully we'll join you on that one, Commissioner. I know the station is not in District F, it's actually in District A, but there is a very big component in your district that the Brightline maintenance facility will be built out near Sloan. Tell me about that.
Sure. So Sloan is just outside of Southern Highlands on the I-15 corridor. There's already been some industrial development that is going on out there, but the county already, before we got the Brightline announcement, was looking at building out 350 acres as an industrial park. And so it's been great to partner with Brightline on what they're doing that will enhance what the county is planning to do out in Sloan.
Has that become a true redevelopment area, or is that something a little bit different in this instance, Commissioner?
Not redevelopment because it's raw land out there, but it's economic development at its best. In fact, we recently joined our friends from North Las Vegas to go take a look at the Apex industrial development they've been working on for several years and learned a lot from them that we hope to apply on the South I-15 corridor.
Commissioner, you referenced earlier All in Clark County. That's Clark County's long-term commitment to clean energy, and you received some recognition from Washington, D.C. I know Energy Secretary Mr. David Turk met you and some of the other officials. How did that visit go, and what's the buy-in from Washington now?
Absolutely. It's been great to get recognition from the Department of Energy, from the EPA, for the work that we're doing here in Southern Nevada. Our all-in plan not only improves what we're doing as a county, including buying up more than 50 electric vehicles that our family services team is going to use, but also just collaborating with all the other local governments and regional entities on planning for greenhouse gas emission reductions across our community.
And this is an effort you and a lot of people at Clark County have been working on for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. This is one of the first things that I worked on as a county commissioner, and it's been great to have Marcy Henson and the entire team at the Department of Environment and Sustainability really step up to the plate and grab onto this and really be great partners, not only within county departments, but also with all of the other partners across the valley.
Another exciting economic development and non-traditional event happening in District F is the Sony Summerlin Movie Studio. A-lister Mark Wahlberg and Sony Studios, you've got some pretty heavy hitters lined up here. Again, thousands of jobs and a different way of diversifying our economy.
Absolutely, this is true economic diversification. We certainly have folks who come here to shoot their scenes of movies on the Strip as a really exciting venue. But we want them to maintain those productions right here in Southern Nevada. Sony is obviously one of the biggest players in the industry. Howard Hughes is absolutely committed to this project. We're talking billions of dollars of investment here in Southern Nevada. I know they got some other work to do with the legislature and the governor, but excited to see this project come to fruition.
There's so many other states, the Georgias, the New Mexicos, or Louisianas, I think, are some that have really embraced Hollywood and bringing movies and productions to their areas. But this is something that, gosh, it should be here.
Absolutely. We're so close to Hollywood, and we have the workforce here. Obviously, with the Strip, we have trained folks who already know this industry, and we just want to move those production facilities from Southern California up here to Southern Nevada to take advantage of all the great folks that we have here already, and really to create those great, good-paying jobs in the industry.
Commissioner, I know you and your team are very much on the front line of behavioral health and mental health as well, and I know Clark County recently purchased an old psychiatric hospital to use as a crisis stabilization center. What is that?
Sure. So over the last couple of years, we've gone and seen some of the models that other communities have been working on to address folks who are really in crisis. Right now, they're picked up by law enforcement, and the only options are take them to jail or take them to an emergency room, and neither of those are the right place for people who are in crisis. So other communities have stood up these crisis stabilization units, which is really just an opportunity for folks to sort of be able to get that care from a psychiatric nurse and people with lived experiences. And then hopefully within 24 hours, they're able to either get back into the community if they're stabilized or go into a higher level of care when it's necessary.
And I know in the past year or so that the 988 hotline has replaced a 10-digit number as the mental health crisis and suicide hotline. How is that being received by the community?
Absolutely. This is something that the state set up, so we've been working very closely with both Metro and the Department of Health and Human Services at the state to improve the work that they're already doing. And we hope that by the end of the year, working with the state and with Metro, we're able to have 988 operators that are co-located within our Metro dispatch center, so that when those calls come in from someone who's in crisis, instead of having a Metro dispatcher address those calls, it's really somebody who's trained in behavioral health issues.
Commissioner, I know you and the entire Clark County is designated around 200 or more, maybe perhaps now it's even more than $200 million in the Community Housing Fund, the Welcome Home Program, to help alleviate affordable housing in our community. How big of a problem is this?
This is a huge issue. It's been that way for many years, and COVID only made it worse. We went from what was originally 60-some thousand units that we were deficient to now we're, by some estimates, over 100,000 units that we're deficient. So we, the county, working with the state and with the federal government, have really devoted hundreds of millions of dollars in resources to build new and renovate existing housing structures here in Southern Nevada, so we can, by leaps and bounds of hundreds and thousands of units, provide real excellent housing for folks who need it the most. And one of the things that we're really excited about is we're moving not just into housing itself, but also supportive housing. So these are projects in which people not only have a place to live, but they also get the wraparound services on site that really makes it more effective for these folks to transition back into the community.
Commissioner, let's shift gears here a little bit. That I know that I believe the last time we sat down in your neighborhood was at the Desert Breeze at Desert Breeze Park for the Desert Breeze Event Center. Some about 90% complete right now. What can people expect when this place opens?
What they can expect is a world-class facility. This is already the biggest facility that we have within the county for a concert venue. And we were out there just the other day. The grass is laid, it's looking fantastic, and we're hoping to kick off with a big concert this fall, and we'll continue those concerts throughout the year. And just a great venue for so much of the music festivals and other opportunities that we have in our community.
I know you have a concert series at Mountain's Edge Park in District F also, which will be going on through this summer here. And I know you're also not done there, that you're in the design stage of building a community center out at Mountain's Edge. Recently we just opened one here at Silverado Ranch in May here in Las Vegas, but before that it was 9 years before any community center was built. These things don't grow on trees. It's difficult to open a community center.
They don't, and this is something that both Commissioner Knapp and I have been pushing for since we were first elected more than 5 years ago. The Southwest has only one major community center, and that's Desert Breeze. And so the folks that are further southwest in Mountain's Edge and Rhodes Ranch really don't have access to those types of facilities. And so at both James Regional and at Mountain's Edge, the County Commission has committed to build 2 new regional centers, community centers that will address the many needs that we have in those communities. So we're very excited that in the next year or two we'll get started with construction on these 2 facilities.
And speaking of some other facilities, you've got a couple neighborhood parks, TP and Patrick and LeBaron and Lindell. If you could bring me up to date on those 2 projects and where we are.
Absolutely. Last year we did a whole lot of groundbreakings. This year we're going to do a whole lot of ribbon cutting. So in addition to the fantastic event center that we have at Desert Breeze that'll be opening shortly, we're going to be opening up the TP Patrick Park, which we are naming Lieutenant Eric Lloyd in honor of someone who served Metro and served fallen officers for so long. We'll be opening up that park later this summer, and then we're really excited about LeBaron Lindell. We did a little naming contest with Reese Elementary that's right next door with their 4th graders, and they came up with a great name for that park that we're going to keep a little suspense on, but looking forward to that in the fall.
All right, well, I can't wait to hear more about that. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the Spring Mountain Redevelopment Corridor Plan with Commissioner Jones and consultant Minjia Yan. Stay tuned. Clark County is coordinating an effort called the Spring Mountain Corridor Redevelopment Plan. This strategy is to celebrate the Asian heritage while advocating for the revitalization of the neighborhood. Consultant and lifelong Chinatown fan Minjia Yan is joining us. You're not only a lifelong, welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And you're also an adjunct professor at University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yes.
So I think this would be a good time, Professor, to give us a history lesson of this area. As, of course, it is a Spring Mountain corridor, but most of us, we refer to it as Chinatown.
Yeah, sure. So Spring Mountains began its journey as the Asian culture hub in the mid-90s. Since the development of Chinatown Plaza, where we're at today. And in 1996, Clark County designated Chinatown Plaza as the Asian Pacific American Cultural Center. And in 1999, the state designated a 3-mile-long district along Spring Mountain to be referred as Chinatown. And since then, Spring Mountain has transformed and integrated other Asian cultural restaurants and community events. And today, Spring Mountain is not only popular to the locals, but also a go-to destination for many of the international visitors who come visit Las Vegas.
What are the numbers on how many international visitors or local visitors do we get in this area, Commissioner? How big of a tourism draw is this area now, and could it become?
Well, obviously, we get tens of millions of visitors here to Southern Nevada, and hundreds of thousands of those are visiting Chinatown because, particularly when you're coming from China or other foreign destinations, this is really the place where you get the authentic cooking, the authentic food that they want. So we're really excited about the opportunities, not just for locals, but also for tourists here.
And the Spring Mountain Corridor Redevelopment Plan, what are the main goals of this plan?
Sure. So the redevelopment plan is a comprehensive strategy that's centered on placemaking and placekeeping. which encompassing urban redevelopment, economic development, and cultural preservation. So when we look at this redevelopment plan, we want to work with all of the small businesses along the corridor, the existing residents, and all of the new potential opportunities we can tap into to help revitalize the neighborhood and to continue supporting the existing and new residents in the future.
So the Community Outreach Commissioner is invaluable. I know you recently held your opening press conference here in Chinatown Plaza, so that's just the start of all this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We have Minjia and the entire consultant team are doing a fantastic job of getting out in the community, talking about what opportunities there are for public input. We have a beautiful website that they've set up, inspiringspringmountain.com, and there you can take a survey and really provide your input as to what the vision is for the Spring Mountain corridor. So we're really looking forward to those opportunities, in-person opportunities, tabling, and really just getting that input from the community.
It's going to be an 18-month plan. How do you wrap your arms around this? How do you start? Where are your milestones, or how do you do this in phases, Minjia?
So in the next 18 months, we will have 3 different phases for this redevelopment planning process. The first phase is called Vision and Goals, which we will have a robust outreach, public outreach strategy where we're boots on the ground. We go to the community, we go to the small business owners, the residents, and seek for their public input. And the general public can go to our website, inspiringspringmountain.com, to complete a community survey. And we will also issue e-blast, do social media marketing tools to really get all of the inputs and feedbacks and recommendations from our residents and small business owners along Spring Mountain and beyond. And in the next phase, we called alternatives and community feedbacks. So the consulting team will have a few alternative designs that we created for this redevelopment plan, and then we seek the public input on which design do they prefer. And then the final phase of the 18 months will be the final plan draft. So we will consolidate all of the inputs and feedbacks from the community, and we will propose a draft to the Spring Valley Town Board and also the Clark County Redevelopment Agency and Board of Commissioners and seek for their final approval.
Commissioner, the small business owners around here and the stakeholders around here seem to say that transportation, parking, safety seem to be the biggest stumbling blocks, or things that really need to improve or change. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. I mean, in addition to the sort of visioning that we've been doing and on this project, we've also just really been taking a look at Spring Mountain Road itself. And so last year we went through a process of really taking a look at what are the traffic safety implications of this kind of a project, and obviously pedestrian safety is of paramount importance here. Chinatown Plaza and Shanghai Plaza are 2 of the busiest plazas in the entire state, and we want to make sure that people can safely get back and forth between areas that are of utmost importance here. So that is something that we're really looking at, is how do we make this a more pedestrian-friendly, a more customer-friendly area. So that's going to be incorporate widening sidewalks, making it easier for RTC bus routes to navigate through this area. It may mean more traffic signals, and it may mean some diversion of folks who might be passing through Spring Mountain onto larger roads that are really designed like that, like Desert Inn.
Do you have anything to add to those, Minjia?
I think for the redevelopment plan, we will look into some of the real estate existing opportunities and future potential opportunities for residential, commercial, entertainment, mixed use, and transit-oriented development. We will also look into public spaces for community gatherings, for kids and families that they can play and go for Sunday afternoon family time. And we will also work with Clark County and the different departments of the county to look at strategic investments in public infrastructure, public worlds, public spaces, public arts, and cultural attractions.
Talk a little bit about the cultural attractions. How do you keep the cultural heritage of the Asian American community alive or raise it up here in this area?
Yeah, so Spring Mountain is not only a collection of different buildings, it is a community. And along this corridor, we have so many cultural events that happen year-round on Spring Mountain. And Commissioner Jones have attended many of the events in this area, including the Lunar New Year Festival at Chinatown Plaza parking lot. There were about 10,000 people that day and over 70 small business vendors at this event. And then I know next month we're going to have a Japan Fest that's going to happen at Chinatown Plaza. And then along the corridor, we want to work with cultural organizations and community leaders to make sure that these traditional practices, public arts, festivals, and events continue to thrive for years to come, for generations to come on Spring Mountain.
Commissioner, downtown Las Vegas, obviously that's not in Clark County, but are there any lessons to be learned from revitalization? Are there any similarities or, again, lessons that could be learned from what has happened in revitalization of downtown to what we can do here in the Spring Mountain corridor?
Absolutely. I think Las Vegas saw something similar to what we see here, which is there were some great assets down on Fremont Street, for example, but that needed some elevation, some reimagining down there. And so that's along the lines of what we're trying to do here is really focus on improving those exact assets that already exist, but also for those that are a little dilapidated or still vacant, really providing some opportunities for those to join the crowd of all that's going on here on Spring Mountain and elevate it to something that I think would be a world-class destination.
How many people live in this area? Do we know? Is a housing component going to be something that you're going to study or see if that grows organically or see if developers have an appetite for that?
Yes. So along the residents on Spring Mountain, it's not only the Asian American population, we also have Hispanic, white, and other ethnic groups along this corridor. So when we do our outreach strategy, not only we have English, Chinese, but we also have Spanish, a multilingual survey that's going to be available on our website. And a lot of these residents, they not only work on Spring Mountain, but they also work on the Strip as well. So when we look at our redevelopment plan, in addition to economic development, we will also like to address workforce development strategy to help the existing residents to better prepare for the workforce in the future and generations to come.
How can the county or how can the strategic plan get involved in the Workforce Development Commission?
Absolutely. I mean, we're partners with Workforce Connections. Economic development dollars that we'll see here in the Spring Mountain corridor are pretty broad in terms of what we can use them for, and providing placemaking spaces, providing incubator spaces here in this corridor. I know Minjia and I have talked about providing some test kitchen type operations there, so that if you're interested in building a restaurant here in the Chinatown corridor, that you can maybe test it out and see if the concept works, and then build from that into a small business along this corridor.
Give me a final word. Give me something else that is really important to you, Minjia.
The core of this redevelopment plan is community empowerment. We really want the community to be the co-creator of this plan. We want everybody's input. We want them to be part of all of the decisions that we're going to make in this redevelopment plan. We want them to feel like they're being included since day one when we launched this plan. So,
look forward to see what continues to happen here.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to go into the kitchen and make some xiaolongbao soup dumplings. This is In Your Neighborhood. Xiaolongbao dumplings originated in China more than 150 years ago when a restaurant owner added gelatin to his pork dumplings. When steamed, these delicious morsels fill up with a savory soup broth and one of the most popular beloved dumplings in Chinese cuisine. We're here in the kitchen at Xiaolong Dumplings to learn more.
So we're gonna grab some fillings on the dough first. Make sure there's enough. A little more, don't be afraid. It's just that you want to flatten it by pushing it a little more, yes.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
A little more.
Yeah,
Okay.
that much.
Flatten it.
Okay, so now we're gonna start wrapping
Can we put this
by
down?
pulling one side and your thumb press the filling, and then one hand you just continue on folding it. There you go, like how she does it.
Maya, how many dumplings do you guys make a day?
On a busy day, we would make probably 5,000 to 6,000 pieces.
Wow.
And how many employees do you have?
We have 8 employees on the table.
And how many total employees across your
We
restaurant?
have about 21 kitchen staff.
Why are these dumplings so famous?
Well, because dumplings represent a significant part of Chinese culture, and the round shape of dumplings represents hope, completion, and prosperity. And we eat them during New Year's time, and then hoping for a prosperity New Year ahead.
Who taught you to make dumplings?
My grandmother,
Your grandmother? And where was she from?
she's from northern part of China.
Northern part?
Yeah.
And how many different kinds of dumplings do you have with different flavors?
We have about 15. Not only we have the soup dumplings, we also have regular dry dumplings. We also have pan-fried pork buns, which is a cloudy, puffy type of dumplings as well.
How many dumplings do you expect people to make an hour?
So our standard is 4 crease every 5 minutes. So each crease has 6 pieces. So that would be 24 pieces in 5 minutes. Yeah. So that will qualify you to be a wrapper.
We're doing like
You're doing like
4 an hour.
1 every minute, but you're making great progress.
Well, if this county commission thing doesn't work out, I know where I'm going.
That wraps up this edition of In Your Neighborhood. Thanks to our friends here at Xiaolong Dumplings Restaurant and the Spring Mountain Corridor Redevelopment Plan consultant Minjia Yan. And kudos to Commissioner Justin Jones to tell us about the area he calls home and represents as your elected official, District F. If you have any questions about this show or ideas for upcoming segments in your neighborhood, call me. I'm at 455-6357 or send an email to rsw@clarkcountynv.gov. Thanks for tuning into Clark County Television. On behalf of our production staff, I'm Randy Swallow. We'll see you again next time in your neighborhood.